Welcome to the ADHD Revolution, where I will help you to break down the myths and stereotypes of what ADHD is and is not. In a relatable, down-to-earth way, you will reduce conflict and increase understanding, empowering you with the confidence and knowledge to better manage living with ADHD. Welcome back to the ADHD Revolution. After a short break, I have reviewed the approach to delivering this podcast for you. The new approach means that episodes will be split into seasons, and I'll share with you more detail about what that means. But what is going to stay the same is that new episodes will be published on a Monday, but it will be every other Monday rather than weekly. I'm excited to be back sharing information, insights, and inspiration about living with ADHD. I'm Jean Gibson, author of the Amazon best-selling book, The ADHD Support Handbook, a real-life guide to empowering a child with ADHD and related conditions. I'm also a certified ADHD life coach, a mother of 4 adult children, with one of those children formally diagnosed with ADHD. I'm also a grandmother, with 3 of my grandchildren being diagnosed with ADHD, and one of those being diagnosed with autism and being recommended to take the ADHD assessment as they have noticed quite a few symptoms of ADHD and they want to make sure it may be that's also going to be included in the diagnosis. It's important to note that more often than not, ADHD doesn't come along alone. They're what are called comorbid conditions, and I've talked about this before in previous episodes, but I wanted to share with you that for my family directly, as I've been sharing quite a bit about the impact of ADHD on my family, that autism has now become one of the other neurodiverse conditions that we are working with. We also have dyslexia and dyspraxia as additional neurodiverse conditions that are present in a number of my grandchildren. I will help you to develop the confidence and understanding of ADHD and related neurodiverse conditions in a down-to-earth, relatable way so that you can support and advocate for yourself or for a young person, wherever you are on your ADHD journey. So strap in and let's get started. Today's episode really is to set the scene for you, to share with you how future episodes are going to be delivered, so that at least you've got an idea of what to expect. I became acutely aware of how challenging it can be to produce a weekly podcast and to ensure that I balance my own self-care and deliver support to you. I've restructured my approach into following the seasons. So March, April and May is springtime, and it's a time of revitalisation, change and new beginnings. That's where we are now. And so that's why I've chosen to restart the podcast episodes in March. June, July and August are the summer months in the UK, a time for growth, fun and relaxation. September, October and November can still be warm and a time to consider challenges, maybe the challenges that have been experienced and additional experiences. It's the start of the new academic year for some people as well. December, January and February are the winter months, and I like to retreat to warmer climates when I can. This is a time for review and reflection and to plan and to strategize for the year ahead. So I hope that as we move through the coming episodes, you'll be able to relate the topics to the seasons, or the seasons may bring you a renewed sense of understanding, perhaps. let's see what happens. It's important for me to hear from you. I would love to hear from more of you. If you have particular topics that you would like me to cover, the contact details will be in the show notes. So do take a look there if you'd like to reach out and share your thoughts with me. So let's start this new season with talking about neurodiversity and the term neurodivergent. And this is a term that's used to describe someone whose brain processes information differently or not typically. Someone who is not neurodiverse is called neurotypical. So that's a term that you may become more familiar with hearing. The Oxford Dictionary explains neurodivergent as this: differing in mental or neurological function from what is considered typical or normal. And it's frequently used with reference to autistic spectrum disorder, or ASD for short, not neurotypical. There are some things that neurotypical people just know or can figure out, and that neurodivergent students may need to have a model for. So to put that into simple language that explains what this is saying is that when you are neurotypical, so you don't have ADHD or a neurodiverse condition, you're able to work things out. You understand, you can deal with various situations, and you just know what to do and how to deal with situations. When you're neurodiverse, certain situations, certain behaviours, certain things are challenging for you. And so you may need to be given guidance, maybe a model to follow, so that you are able to carry out that function, that behaviour, that action, understand that thing because of the way the ADHD or the neurodivergent brain functions information. It functions differently to the neurotypical brain. I hope that makes sense for you so that you can understand the difference between neurodiverse and neurotypical. Neurodiverse is that you have a brain that functions differently to a neurotypical brain, and that is somebody who doesn't have a neurodiverse condition. One of the things that I'm keen to do with this podcast is to incorporate information and experiences of some of the wider conditions that come under the neurodiverse heading. So, and as I said, that 2 more of my grandchildren have been diagnosed with autism. So I want to bring in more information and share more experiences of autism because they are connected. As I said, that they're often, you may have somebody who is experiencing similar symptoms that are ADHD related and have autistic traits. So if this relates to you, and if you are happy to share your experience because you think it might be of value to the listeners, and I think any experience is valuable and important for us to hear, please reach out for a chat to share your experiences, to maybe share any questions or concerns that you have. And as I said, it's important for me to share with you my journey and what's going on for me. And I mentioned that 2 of my female family members have recently been diagnosed with autism. One of them was diagnosed with autism and has been referred for an ADHD assessment because they also noted there were ADHD symptoms. And the other's been diagnosed with autism and ADHD. And it's important for me to say that it wasn't a shock for us to learn of these diagnoses. It confirmed what we already believed was the case. And now we have the diagnosis, we can put in additional support in place, especially as one of the 2 females in my family are in the workplace. And so it's an opportunity to really think about her strengths and what she does well and what enables her to be in flow, but also what her challenges are so that we can make sure that she's got the right support in place to support her in her work so that she is able to thrive rather than to struggle, because that's what's important here. As I said, each episode is going to be part of a season, and what I'm going to be doing is, as well as recording on audio, you'll also be able to see me and my guests. So I'm going to be adding the video recordings to YouTube as well. So not only will you be able to listen to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, so Spotify or Apple, for example, you can also tune into YouTube and watch and listen again to the podcast at your leisure. In addition to that, with everything else that I'm doing for you, I have an open invitation to you. If you would like to share your experience or you have an expertise that you think would be of value to listeners, please get in touch. I would love to have you come on as a guest and share your inspiration, your expertise, your point of view even. I would love for you to get in touch and become a guest on the ADHD Revolution, because ultimately the ADHD Revolution is about changing that negative story of ADHD. Yes, there are challenges that come with ADHD, but there are also many positive aspects of having ADHD. And I will explore those in more detail in future episodes. So in addition to that, I'm gifting you all a digital copy of my book, the ADHD Support Handbook. And as you may already be aware, my mission is to transform the lives of at least 10,000 people living with ADHD and related conditions. And this book has and continues to change lives. So the details again of how you can gain access to your free copy of my book, the ADHD Support Handbook, will be in the show notes. You can, of course, email me at jean@activepersonaldevelopment.co.uk with any questions, with any information you'd like me to share, or any requests that you have about topics that you'd like me to talk about on the podcast. As an advocate for those living with ADHD, I strive to model strategies and behaviours that may support you. Recognising how easy it is to become burnt out, I have streamlined my approach to delivering this podcast, which I've shared with you. Introducing the seasons helps me consider the emotions that I want you to feel, the topics that I want to share with you that I think are important to you and that I know some of you will share with me and have shared with me that are important to you, and the feelings that I want to share with you. I would like you to feel and be inspired by listening to the ADHD Revolution podcast. Spring is about new beginnings. Summer is about having courage and stepping out of your comfort zone. Autumn is a reflection time, and winter is where you review and plan what's going to happen going forwards. I want you to remember that you're not alone on this journey. All you need to do is to reach out and ask for support. You can purchase my book, The ADHD Support Handbook, on Amazon. You can support my cause to transform the lives of at least 10,000 people by joining the ADHD Revolution Facebook group. You can follow me on Instagram at CoachJean_APD. Connect with me on LinkedIn or email me at jean@activepersonaldevelopment.co.uk. I would love to hear your thoughts. In the next episode, I talk with Dr. Radha Mazoria about the importance of gut health in managing your ADHD. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for listening to the ADHD Revolution. We will together change the story and reduce the stigma of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Stay tuned for future episodes and do subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow me on Instagram, CoachJean_APD, join my Facebook group, the ADHD Revolution, or connect on LinkedIn. I'm Jean Gibson. I would love to hear from you with questions, or if you're seeking coaching, or you just want to support me on my mission to improve the lives of at least 10,000 people and change the story of ADHD, do get in touch. I'm Jean Gibson, your host, CEO of Active Personal Development, author of the ADHD Support Handbook, and certified ADHD life coach.